Hey, Derek Keat, Remax Elite. Today we've got Josh Bourne with us.
Yeah, guys, Josh Bourne, Canadian Residential Inspection Services. Glad to be here.
So it's great to have a property inspector here with us today just to kind of answer some questions and chat about some things that come up and questions that people have. So today we're going to talk about asbestos, right? So before we get into that, like, subscribe, give us that thumbs up. So asbestos, right? This is a scary word for a lot of people.
It's a trigger word for sure.
And we're looking at, we've got, so there's a fourplex and it's got, I think it's about 5,000 square feet or something like that. And they were looking at paying 140,000 or something for asbestos removal.
Those abatement companies make pretty good margins as far as I can tell.
Yes. And it kind of like, so this conversation's kind of come up, like who's gonna pay 140,000 for some old building I don't know. I mean, that's neither here nor there. But is it necessary, or what? Or where's the risk? Where is it? That's kind of.
If you are demolishing the building or doing extensive renovations in there, it does need to be dealt with. It's not something you can just paint over and be like, no, it's fine. It is. Asbestos is really good for everything except ingesting.
Yes.
Insulation properties. It's strong. But yeah, it is. It's a carcinogen. Yeah.
I took a full course on abatement. So I have my little
Start a
card.
company then.
I got my little card, so I could actually do abatement if I wanted to.
Okay.
Until that expires, right?
Yeah.
Not that I wanted to. The reason why I did it is because I was interested in abatement. So I was kind of like, okay, how does this?
Yeah.
But I think a lot of the time, well, if someone's looking to demolish the place, so under city rules now, it needs to be free of asbestos, right?
Correct.
They're not able to demolish the house, and so for infills and those sort of things, this is a big question that comes up. But when you have someone, I guess if you have someone just moving into an older home, let's talk about that a little bit. So if you've got someone moving into an older home, where does the risk come in?
Yeah. Okay. So asbestos is particulates. If you don't disturb those particles, they're a lot less harmful than if you are running a saw through products with asbestos, putting air particles everywhere containing asbestos. So there is ways to greatly minimize your asbestos exposure there. Older home, there's an 8-inch tile called VA tile. It's kind of red, black, or a beige color that might be on the basement floor. And one thing you can do there, instead of breaking all those tiles up to put new flooring, is you could put new flooring right over top of them and not disturb them at all.
And I find, like, whenever there's not whenever, like I don't want to generalize here, but I would say almost all the time I see new flooring. No one nowadays, like the workers don't take the time to take the existing flooring out first.
No.
Anyway,
it's
it's very rare. I mean, not that it's like, obviously if it's loose and it's falling apart, they kind of have to, or they have to level it out, or they have to do what they have to do. But I think a lot of the time now it's common practice for people to just put another layer over top. So, I mean, if you got flooring, you got ceiling, a lot of the time they're just putting another layer, and then it's not really a risk to the homeowner, right?
Yes. So some of those, back what you were saying, Derek, some of those older homes, there's a popcorn ceiling that contains asbestos in that product. So some people are like, okay, I'm gonna wet that down and scrape it off, and I'm like, maybe you like, well, if you dampen it, it stops it from spreading as much as if it was dry. But what I say is, why don't you just put another layer of drywall over it and seal that in there?
And then it's, I mean, if it's, because then no one's going to be at it at all. If you've got another, it's that thick.
There's a coat of mud, a couple coats of paint on there, and
that's it, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's also like, you can obviously get an abatement company in, but as we said, like, do you want to spend 10,000 or 20,000
could be more.
Or whatever.
My neighbor's was 35,000 just for some minimal asbestos in the house.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right. So. Awesome. So yeah, these are kind of things to consider. Obviously, if you're looking at infills, you're looking at tearing down a building, then knowing that asbestos removal is definitely going to be
That's mandatory.
Yeah, right.
Can't have that spreading around the neighborhood. They come and put the full ET quarantine around your house and get rid of all of that.
the plastic, and they go in with their hazmat
suits.
hazmat suits. Are they actually I don't. Doesn't matter. But
Yeah, they look pretty official.
They look like hazmat suits,
Yeah.
right? With the full-on, yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. If you have any questions about that, let us know. All right. Well, again, we're not asbestos professionals by any means, but these are
2 cents on
these are videos and giving our 2 cents on what we think, what we know, and what we've learned. All right. Thank you for joining us. Like, subscribe.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. Take care.